going on, guys? This is King Drell. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And let's see if you can handle this hot seat. Toasty, take it away.
Okay, so if we compare the women in Naruto to the women in Bleach, I would argue that the female characters in Bleach are much more well-rounded than the characters in Naruto.
We're not talking about Rukia, are we?
Even though a lot of them get tossed like salads, but I do see what she's going for.
They do, but so do the girls in Naruto.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm you know what I'm saying? I do see where she's coming from. I just one of the biggest problems about Bleach is when it comes to those girls is just Rukia. That's just one of the.
You know how I feel about
Rukia.
Rukia.
That's just. It's like because if you want to bring this around Bleach area, if you really want to keep it a band around the ladies and stuff like that, most of them really didn't have like motives like that because they was all slick was on Sakura training wheels as well about Captain Aizen. She was all about, oh yeah, I love my Captain Aizen. I didn't want him to go away. Did she find out he wasn't? But then she's felt depressed and wanted herself.
But Rukia at the very top already has her own like goals. Like she wants to be strong. She wants to impress her brother. Like she wants to be a strong character. Sakura doesn't care. Sakura is shouting in the corner, Sasuke, Naruto, and then gonna have enough nerve to get mad at Sasuke when he breaks down when he sees Orochimaru for the first time. He's like shaking in fear, and Sakura's like, "What are you gonna do? Just stand down?" Or we're like, "Sakura, you haven't thrown a single fist for the first 30 episodes of the series. We battled Haku. You did nothing. Rukia is gonna fight from the top."
She stood next to the guy to protect him. Somebody had to do it.
It was a guard dog. That could have been a shadow clone. A shadow clone could have done that job.
Somebody got to do it.
Yeah, so that's all I'm going to say is that it's like Kishimoto doesn't know what to do with the women characters at the very beginning of the series. He doesn't know what to do with them. They're kind of just there. Sakura could have been introduced later into the show and would have been the exact same. Whereas Rukia is instrumental from the very top of Bleach. So that is why I think Bleach's female characters are a little more intentional, I'll say.
I give you a little more.
I always say that, first of all, I've always been on team Sakura is not trash. But I've also always said in OG Naruto, it can be a little hard to defend her sometimes.
She be on my nerves.
In Naruto Shippuden, it's a little easier to defend her because, you know, that's after the training with Tsunade, who I think is written pretty well.
Tsunade's pretty fire.
It was, you know, after her training with Tsunade, after she becomes, you know, a great medical ninja, you know, the strongest woman in the village, becomes immune to genjutsus. You know, like Sakura becomes pretty OP.
She's pretty OP, like by the end. But you know who might have the best female characters? One Piece. I'll give y'all that. One Piece might have the best female written characters because of what I've seen of One Piece from the very top. Nami, Robin, everybody's got like a clear motivation goal. They're their own people. They're not chasing after men. I'm gonna let One Piece take it.
You know what?
What did Martin do on the show? Woo!
The fourth Great Ninja War ended, and Sasuke literally said, "Yeah, I'm going to kill all the Hokages now." And Sakura responded by going, "Don't do that. Let's get married instead."
Which
I'm paraphrasing, obviously.
I can't even talk about the marriages at the end of the show. They still don't really make sense to me. But hey, they had to get married, so they got married. Whatever, they need to procreate.
I have stood by the fact forever that the only reason Sasuke married Sakura was because he said it from day one. He needed to restore his clan. You can't do unless you have kids and build a population.
Why his kid got glasses?
So it was either going to be her or Ino, and Ino, once she saw Sai, it was like, Sasuke, I'm good on that.
I know, her and Sai had that matching belly shirt. She said, "Oh, that's my man."
Word. And what's his name? Chubby. I was mad happy.
Toji?
What? I was mad happy for him.
Got a baddie.
Melanated woman.
Black queen. He said he was listening to too much Dr. Umar.
OD.
I
always thought Toji, like, because if you really look at OG Naruto, besides Iruka, there ain't not one melanated character who could even be like coded as black. And I always thought if there was like a black character in OG Naruto, it'd be Choji.
Yeah.
Choji is low key black coded.
Well, it makes sense that he married the way he did.
Yeah.
So there we go. So, but there are some other characters that are in that village, and I really only want to ask you about this one because I know how much this man, King of New York, feels about him. So, I want you to give me your opinions, Toasty, on Neji, and more importantly, the way he went out.
Oh.
Yo.
Ooh.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. Okay, first of all, I used to have a crush on Neji. Love Neji. He reminds me of Byakuya, Itachi. They all are like the same archetype. But I guess actually Byakuya and Neji are probably more similar. But anyway, I felt like in terms of Neji's full circle arc, it did make sense for him to die because his whole thing with Naruto was, defying his destiny. And then he ended up fulfilling his destiny for real.
Thank you.
Like, so I don't think Neji should have died. I don't think it made sense. Another thing I've been pondering on is what would have happened if Rock Lee died during the tuning exams. That's another thing I've been thinking about. Those are two key moments where I'm like, the series could have done something completely different there, and it would have been interesting. Though I love Rock Lee.
It would have been sad if Rock Lee died with all the stuff that he was talking about, with every setback that he had, not knowing ninjutsu, having to fight hard to get where he got. If he went out at a young age like that,
Then that would be right.
that would have been it. Would
They would prove it right. It would prove it right.
People would
because you have to have
ninjutsu
ninjutsu just
people
to be great
wanted
in the
to root
world.
for him to overcome, though. Although we never got that Rock Lee Neji fight,
which is so rude. Like, are you dead ass? Like that should have been on there. Come on, Kishimoto. There had to have been a list of bullet points they need to hit.
They built it up.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, Kishimoto pissed me off by the end. I was over him by the Great Ninja War.
I was like, literally, it was like you kept teasing that we were probably gonna see Rock Lee versus Neji, and then we didn't get it. You know what I compare that to? Gon and Miriam in Hunter x Hunter. We didn't get that either.
The most bullshit thing ever.
Sometimes these mangaka do stuff where I'm like, "Oh, you lucky you not in the U.S." We would have words.
Dang, you sound like Attack on Titan people right now.
and listen, I was at that panel. When he came to Anime NYC. But you know what? I stand by what he did with AOT. I was like, okay, he knows what's gonna happen, top to bottom, no BS, no filler. He knew what it was.
Like I said, I'm glad you said that though about Neji, because I've said that on this podcast before, that he literally went out doing his original thing. Because a lot of people don't pay attention to the fact they always say, "Oh, he died because he jumped in front of Naruto," and I say, "No, he didn't jump in front of Naruto. He jumped in front of Hinata, who jumped in front of Naruto,
which was the destiny we were trying to overcome for him. Like, we did not want him to sacrifice himself for Hinata.
Just like his father did, protecting the main branch."
Right. Like, come on now. If the whole thing is like with Naruto is choosing your own destiny, defying the stereotypes, thematically Neji should have lived. He should have lived.
Did he really not define his destiny knowing who his dad is? I mean, Neji was right. Neji was right.
To protect the main branch?
To protect the main branch, the family that you come from is going to lead the nation, the Leaf Nation. Like, there is no change in your future. Naruto pretty much proved him right. I'm just saying.
Ooh, hold on.
Right, but Naruto, but the whole thing was he kept spewing a lot of this stuff to Naruto because he kept saying, "You can't change your future. You're never going to be Hokage." And we know that happened, even though obviously the village had no idea that he was the son of a Hokage.
I honestly think they needed a character to kill in that war arc, and it was either him, Kakashi, or Guy.
Kakashi's not already though.
First of all, technically, Guy did die. It's just Naruto all of a sudden became a better healer than Sakura real quick, and just jumped down there and was like, "There you go."
He was Jesus, literally.
I know you opened all the gates, and you're supposed to be
literally.
gone. And Madara even showed you respect.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's true. And I love Guy, but honestly, I think I would have traded Neji for Guy.
and guy can never walk again, but still.
Right.
still
I wouldn't
he's
mad about
alive.
it if
W
the white guy
opinion,
would've went
because they
away
would have
because
felt
his
the
sensei
pain.
went out kind of basically the same way. So
Yeah, and it would have made sense if that whole squad lived on. Like Neji just should have been able to grow up.
Nash should have just rotation. That's it.
All I
Yeah,
see is
and that's the
Neji
thing.
and
They
Pen
both of them
with
got
a
to be
both
fist
Hinata
niggas.
and Neji got so caught up in I'm gonna protect the person I love because Hinata jumped out there. I gotta protect my man, and he went out there. I gotta protect the main branch. Both of you guys have rotations. Y'all didn't even attempt.
Like, I swear, y'all ninjutsu was literally rotation.
Y'all didn't even attempt it.
Y'all main thing is defense, right?
Yeah,
You got
always did.
Byakugans.
Like you can't rotate, right? Like we could both do the same pose, right?
But
Yeah.
what do they always say in other anime? Sometimes your body just moves.
Like what Anime Podcast said, I feel like Neji more protected Hinata, less about the main branch, but more about he finally came around and actually cared about her. So it was more about the individual than the branch.
Part of that can be true. Because yes, he did come to care about Hinata. He started helping her train. It shows more in the manga, so more in the anime. He was one of the more main people that really wanted her and Naruto together. You know, that was Neji's thing. Like, he saw it. First of all, a lot of people already kind of seen what she was feeling, except for Naruto with his dents behind. But, Neji was all for it. And you might be right about that, but that doesn't change the fact that perception is everything. And perception is he died exactly the way his father did.
Yep. He didn't betray any stereotypes of his family.
Even
He
though
deserved to
there's
live.
the whole mark on the forehead and I'm free now, and apparently
And he would have been a great Hokage at some point.
That's a
That's
fact.
if he wanted to be. He never gave off any instances that he wanted to be Hokage.
He was
True.
just nice like that.
But he would have been one of the fillers. Shikamaru didn't want to be up there.
That's a fact.
Nah, yeah, Shikamaru was just. That's why because his whole thing, he said it even in the war. He's like, look, Naruto needs to be the Hokage. He's the guy that everyone's following. He's the hero of the village. He might not be the smartest person in the world, but this man has this way about him to make you want to run through a brick wall for him.
Can we talk about how we just have like 20 Hokages by the end of the series, though? Like, that also cheapened it for me. I was like, dang, we got so many filler Hokages, and then you the Hokage.
Well,
like,
Danzo doesn't count. He never actually became Hokage.
Who?
Danzo. Remember, he was a fill-in Hokage while Tsunade was out for a while. Because remember, Danzo was the one that went to that Kage summit, the one that Sasuke tried to run up on.
Yup, and he did run up on it too. Sasuke was ready, yo. Sasuke was so ready. Okay, he was
like, look, I can talk Naruto all day.
He was standing. Let me not be too loud because my man in the other room watching Team Naruto right now.
Yeah, he's literally watching Naruto for the first time. So I'm like, from where she said they were, he should be feeling some things right now. So
yeah,
I hope he has some tears in his eyes when you go back in there.
I be looking, when you're watching someone you glancing over at them like, because I'm like
I know when I saw this,
because I'm sobbing again. I'm like Haku versus Zabuza. I'm sobbing. I'm like, how are you not crying right now? Rock Lee versus Gaara. By the end, I'm literally in tears. I'm like, he's like, look, I'm tearing up a little bit. I need you to sob. I need you to break down.
I need that.
Yes. You don't care about this at all? You talk too much, kid.
Like, come on now. Y'all need to be on your knees. Because when I watched it as a kid, Naruto just had me. Oh, it's just the best. And it still holds up in 2025.
Nah, facts.
But
I was gonna say, complete sidebar.
I know you said there were a lot of Hokages, but you also got to understand, Sarutobi was Hokage for a long time. He got old. He didn't want to be Hokage anymore. It was time for him to pass it on. Minato died. Can't really do anything about that. So he became a Hokage, gave birth to a goat, and then he was done. They didn't have a filler for that point, so they went back to him. It's like, hey, third, we need you to kind of take back over and be Hokage again.
Yo, can we talk about the third Hokage? He low-key is trash. Like,
low-key?
No, high-key. Like, he honestly might be my, and maybe it's just because by the time we're introduced to him in the series, he is very, very old. But I just feel like he is not, he's not doing what needs to be done.
He was smoking that cigarette, throwing everything in the room. Hey, little Bess.
No, literally. I'm
Little
like,
chigger. You're gonna take this. You're gonna take some ramen. You got a studio. Bye.
Which, by the way, because we've brought that up, we've learned, especially through like the novels and all of that stuff, Hokage are very, very wealthy. So Minato more than likely left behind a lot of money. Where did that money go?
oh,
Where did that money go?
right, because
It's like he
Naruto was
didn't go to
hungry.
that-
Because what? Yeah, know what? Let's really talk about it. Did the third take his money? Did the third take Naruto's trust? Because where is the money now that you say that? Because my boy's his stomach is growling in these early episodes, eating ramen every day.
Spoiled milk.
That man was gambling his money away. That man was
Yo,
paying taxis, putting in the horse
yo,
races,
Yay!
the dog races, all that. He was outside. And hold on. Didn't he have women around him at one point in one of the fellas in the background when he was
yo.
drinking? Yeah,
We got to do some research. Somebody got to do a deep dive on where that money
Where
went.
did the money go?
Where did the money go, third?
Hey Siri, where did Naruto's money go?
Because Minato was a Hokage. He had to have been wealthy. You look at Naruto when he's Hokage. Look at the house he lives in now.
You right.
Look, that's that Hokage money. Where did Minato's money go?
Yeah. To be fair though, Minato only saved the Leaf Village, whereas Naruto saved just about everybody. So now that I'm rewatching Naruto, I'm remembering. Oh yeah, they get like paid for the based on the rank of the mission or whatever. In my mind, I'm like, oh, Naruto from the Leaf Village saves the world. Every country chips in and pays this dude and the Leaf Village. So in my mind, I'm like, he probably got like a lump sum after that war.
He might have, but still, Minato, they did say he was the youngest Hokage. Some thought he probably even could have been the best.
He was
There's
fired.
no way he was broke. Like between him and Kushina, like they've already wiped out the Uzumaki clan. You don't see too many of them around anymore. It's like,
True.
look, Naruto should have way more money to be living where he's living, or at least to be eating better.
Somebody do a deep dive. We need the anime IRS to do an audit. We need an audit
An audit on the third.
Hokage, and we need to really get into those taxes. We need a breakdown of expenses because I'm gonna start looking closer in the show. I'm gonna start writing stuff down.
Yes, and so somebody needs to write a letter because we know how he is, and just a lot of the things he allowed to happen too. Like, I know I get on Tsunade a lot about the village getting attacked while she was Hokage, but I will give her a small defense of the fact that they did just kind of pop up in there and do some stuff. And Nagato's a bad boy.
He is.
What Saratobi allowed to happen to that village is inexcusable.
Right? Yeah,
because they just infiltrated that thing. Sitting right next to this man.
Yeah.
During the tuning exams.
Disrespectful raids.
How did they? I
no
get
security.
It.
You know what happened
when part of the Leaf? I get that, but still.
When UA got raided in My Hero Academia, they don't play about their kids. They had that thing on lockdown. The moment Orochimaru snuck into that exam, the exam should have been on lockdown. But did they care? No. You know what the third said? Oh, well, I have to put on this show for all the other neighboring countries so they can watch the rest of our exams. He cares about the money, you guys. This is what I'm saying. Bro is shiesty. We cannot trust the third Hokage. I really think there's something here. I might have to. I'm gonna hyperfixate on this.
Look, big illustrious tuning exam. Best.
This is what I'm gonna be doing. On tour, I'm gonna be writing my dissertation on why the third Hokage was robbing and embezzling funds from the Leaf Village.
Like I said, that tuning exams was the best money Minato ever spent.
Facts. Well, thank you guys for having me. I have to pop off here. Anything else?
Absolutely. No, that's actually, if you just give me 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and transition to the big screen because that was actually our final topic for the day. So,
oh my gosh, perfect timing.
From Naruto. Obviously, I could have gone for hours. So
now that I'm rewatching it, I'm like, oh yeah, there's so much to break down. Like, because as a kid, you watch Naruto and you're just like, man, like good life lessons. This is deep. But then you look at it as an adult and you're like, wait. Itachi, like I used to love Itachi, and now I'm like, wow, Itachi, maybe you should have done what Luffy would have done. Let me bring back One Piece. Luffy would have overthrown Konoha. Luffy would have overthrown the government. Whereas Naruto is like their best kid, their best
Actually, I'm
Agent.
glad you said that. Last question before our last general question. How do you feel about Itachi?
He fine. He can do whatever he want. That's my man, and I'm sticking by him. Yeah, that's how I feel. No, but that is mostly how I feel. But I used to think he was justified in what he did, and now I'm just like, yo, if that was my family, I would take out the village first. Like, go Aaron on him. Go Aaron with it. Take out everybody else.
This village will belong to the Uchihas.
Yeah, I'm like, you're no Uchiha. How are you? You're so loyal to this village to the point where you're gonna take out your family. You expect me to be okay with that? Yeah, I don't
But
like what he did, but I like him.
He has a secret.
That's your man, though. You gotta sit beside him, though. Of his
Yeah.
choices.
How
I'm
about
ride or die.
freaking Kurenai actually trying to put a genjutsu on this man? An Uchiha.
Hilarious.
He tried to put a
Hilarious.
genjutsu on an Uchiha.
Just slow,
Hilarious.
And thought it was gonna work.
slow behavior.
Use it. What do you mean? She's like, I'm talking to
You could have tried to put a genjutsu on an Uchiha.
Bro, you heard what she said? I'm the best
Itachi.
in this. I'm the best genjutsu.
And he's like, I got these.
You see me? She said, I got these red, beautiful red eyes, but not like yours, but I got these.
Right.
Right, come on.
Like, that's how she felt. Like, she felt
I
like
know
I
how
was.
she
She's like,
felt.
hey, what's up?